everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Alex and today I'm going to be doing the try a chapter tag. The day that I'm filming this, yesterday I went to the library and picked up some new books and I showed you guys over on my Instagram stories. So if you're not following me on Instagram, the link is always down in the description to my Instagram profile. Go over there and follow me because that is where you will see all of my library hauls. But I managed to pick up 6 titles and 4 of them are really new YA releases. So I asked you guys over there if you wanted me to do a try a chapter tag and you guys said yes. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you those 6 books, read the first chapter of all of them and figure out which one I want to continue with first. So before we get into the video, if you're new here and you're not already, be sure to go down and hit the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell icon so that you never miss out on any of my content. Without further ado, let's get started. So like I said, 4 of the 6 books that I picked up were brand new YA releases, and I actually also got another new YA release in the mail. So I'm going to be reading my 6 library books and 1 extra that I'm going to throw in there that you guys didn't see on Instagram. And we'll see how it goes. So the first book that I picked up is Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. I have read quite a bit from Rainbow Rowell in the past. I haven't read Carry On or Wayward Son, and I don't plan to, but other than this, I think I've read all of her works. But I don't know a ton about this. All I know is I think it takes place in the 1990s, and this guy works for this office, and he is in charge of monitoring the emails between the employees, and he's tracking these emails between these 2 girls, and I think he starts to fall for one of them. So it just sounds like a cute, fun, really short office romance. I also picked up The Light We Lost by Jill Santopolo. This one I know nothing about, except I've just heard people say that this will break your heart into a million pieces. That just sounded like something that I'm into right now for some reason. I don't exactly know why, but I'm interested to at least read the first chapter of this. Also, I'm sure you can see or hear my son playing over here, so forgive him. And now the new YA releases that I got. I picked up The Grace Year by Kim Liggett. Again, don't know a ton about this one, but I've heard something about that these girls, I don't know if they have powers or what it is, but they go on this grace year, I guess, to like get it out of their system, and nobody knows what happens during that grace year. So I'm intrigued by this, and the cover is freaking gorgeous. I also picked up Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. This is the sequel to Skyward, which has been one of my favorite reads of the year and one of the best YA sci-fis that I have ever read. Can't say a whole lot about the synopsis of this. I really don't even know what happens in this one, but in Skyward, we follow our main character Spensa, who wants to follow in her father's footsteps and become a pilot, but her father infamously abandoned his fleet and nobody believes in Spensa. They think that she is going to do the exact same thing, and she is determined to prove everyone wrong. So this book just picks up on the events of the last book, and honestly, I don't remember how the last book ended, and I don't know if this will give a recap or what. We're just going to go into it blind. I also managed to pick up Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the first book in the Dreamers trilogy, which is a brand new trilogy following Rowan from the Raven Boys. It has been probably about 3 years since I read the Raven Boys, but I did really enjoy it. I'm pretty sure that you can read this trilogy without having read the Raven Boys, but I hope that's the case because I don't remember hardly anything that happened in the Raven Boys, so we'll see. And the last one that I picked up from the library was Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. This is the sequel to Children of Blood and Bone, which I read earlier this year and really enjoyed. I know that a lot of people have been looking forward to this for a long time because the publication date got pushed back like 6 or 9 months. It was supposed to come out, I think, in like March to May, sometime in the spring, and it got pushed back. So a lot of people have been anticipating this. I, once again, don't remember anything from Children of Blood and Bone, so we'll see how this goes. And the final book that I'm going to be trying the first chapter of is The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. This was my Book of the Month YA pick for this month, and this is the 3rd and final book to the Folk of the Air trilogy. Now, obviously, I can't say a ton about the plot of this, considering it is the 3rd and final book in a trilogy, but I feel like a lot of people have already started the Folk of the Air trilogy. Starts with The Cruel Prince. I've really enjoyed it so far. It left off on a big cliffhanger, and I'm kind of scared because this is barely 300 pages long, so we'll see how it turns out. While we're here, and before we get into the try a chapter tag, I do want to let you guys know about 2 discounts that Book of the Month YA is running from now until December 31st. So if you guys didn't know, I am an affiliate for Book of the Month YA, and they have given me 2 discount codes to give you guys in case you are looking to purchase a Book of the Month YA subscription during the holiday season. So the first code is in case you want to purchase a membership for yourself. Typically, Book of the Month YA will send you 1 brand new YA hardcover shipped to your door for $15 a month. But if you go to the link in my description and sign up using the code YES5, you will be able to get your first purchase for just $5. And if you are considering purchasing a subscription for a friend as a holiday gift, you can go to that link and use the code GIFTY to receive $10 off a 6 or 12 month subscription. So essentially, as as an affiliate with Book of the Month YA, if you guys do go down and use that code, it just means that Book of the Month YA continues to send me free books, which I highly appreciate. So if you are considering purchasing a membership this holiday season, it would mean the world to me if you would do it using my link. So with all of that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start reading. I think I'm going to start off with attachments, read the first chapter, and let you know what I think. So with all that being said, we're going to jump into the books. I'm going to try the first chapter of each. I think I'm going to start off with Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. So we'll read the first chapter and I'll be right back to let you know what I thought. So I finished the first chapter of Attachments. It literally took me like 2 minutes because it's literally 2 pages long, but it essentially starts out with an email correspondence between our two characters, Jennifer and Beth, and one of them is experiencing a pregnancy scare. So far, I mean, it was a very, very short first chapter, just a couple pages long, but I did really enjoy it. Jennifer and Beth have a snarky banter between them, and it seems like it's gonna be a fun read. It was just short, sweet, and to the point. So next, I'm gonna dive into the first chapter of The Light We Lost by Jill Santopolo. So I finished with the first chapter of The Light We Lost. This one was incredibly short also. The prologue is only like a paragraph long, and then the first chapter is about 2 pages again. And the first chapter is, the narrator is talking about whenever she first met her love. I assume that's going to be the 2 main characters we follow through the story. She met this guy in a college class. He wound up coming in late, and then even later than that, the teacher's assistant ran in to tell them that a plane had hit one of the Twin Towers. So this has a very literary fiction style writing. It's really descriptive and atmospheric. It's not overly flowery, but you can definitely tell that the author has taken some time to be very deliberate with her word choices. And I think that this is going to be a really interesting story. Just starting out with the 9/11 attacks really puts a somber mood on the book, and I'm interested to see where the love story goes. So next I'm going to move into the YA novels that I picked up. So I'm going to start off with The Gray Seer by Kim Liggett. I'll be right back. So I finished with the first chapter of The Gray Seer. This one is written in a little bit of a different format. So there was a prologue that was like 2 pages long, and then the book is split into 4 seasons. So we start out in the autumn, and that's a really long chunk, and then all the seasons go on after that. So the sections themselves are broken up, and I just read until the first break. So it was about 14 pages in total. So essentially it is believed that the girls in this society have a magic ability or a power that draws in men, and they are sent on a Gray Seer when they turn 16 to like get this wildness out of them. I'm still a little bit fuzzy on the concept, but essentially we are following our main character, and she is about to leave for her Gray Seer. It's the day before she's supposed to leave, and they give you a little bit of the background of the society. The girls, when they are born, are branded on the bottom of their feet with their father's sigil, and then the day before they leave for their Gray Seer, they have what's called a veiling day, where essentially all of the girls in town will line up, get together, be shown off, and the boys in town will decide which one of the girls they want to take for a wife once she gets back from her Gray Seer, and they will put a veil on her. And so everyone that gets a veil is going to be married to that boy whenever they come back from their Gray Seer. And if you don't get a veil, then you are essentially put to work on the farm or in the dairy or factory or wherever. So far this one is really interesting. It's going to take me a while to get into, I feel like, but it's definitely intriguing, and the writing style, similar to The Light We Lost, it's lyrical without being too overly flowery. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one. I don't know if it's the one that I will continue straight off of this video, but it was intriguing. I had to take a pause to put my kid down for a nap, but we're all good back now and ready to continue with Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. So I finished with the first chapter of Starsight. Really enjoyed this one. We start in the middle of a battle scene, and we get to hear some witty banter between Spensa and her AI ship Mbot. And I really loved being back in this world. I didn't realize exactly how much I missed it until I was back in it. Brandon Sanderson writes fight scenes so well. The battle scenes in these books are so cool, and the banter between Spensa and Mbot is hilarious and snarky and witty as always. Absolutely adored it. And there's a little bit of a callback to some of the information in the last book just to kind of jog our memories. Doesn't feel info dumpy, but it does give you enough to kind of jog your memory, remember what we're doing while we're here. So that was really appreciated, and I cannot wait to continue with this one. I think right now now either this one or Attachments is in the lead. They're completely different. I think it's just going to depend on what I'm feeling at the end of all this, but we'll see if any of the remaining three blow me out of the water. So next I'm going to continue on with Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater. I may wind up switching positions so that I can plug in my phone to keep filming, but regardless, this is the next one we're going for. So I started on Call Down the Hawk. Maybe this is cheating a little bit, but I only read the prologue for this. I didn't continue on to the first chapter. That's nothing bad against the book. I just felt like stopping after the prologue. It was only about 4 or 5 pages long, and we really just get a recap and a look into the 3 Lynch brothers. Now, the reason that I stopped with this one after the prologue is because there is nothing wrong with it, but the writing style just isn't what I'm looking for right now. Maggie Stiefvater, if you've read her before, you know she has a very flowery writing style. She's really descriptive, and while it is beautiful and there's definitely a place and time for it, it's not what I'm looking for right now. I want something that's a little bit more straightforward and not something that I have to try so hard to read. So I'm going to put this one on the back burner for right now, but I'm definitely still intrigued by this. I am going to be picking it up. Again, absolutely nothing against this book, just that I don't want to read it right this second, and I don't want my mood to spoil what's otherwise probably going to be a really, really good book. And the last library book, the second to last book that's going to be in this video, is Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. So I'm going to start in on the first chapter of this and see where it takes us. So I finished with the first chapter of Children of Virtue and Vengeance. This is another really short first chapter. It's only about 5 or 6 pages long, and I cannot really say anything about what is happening in this chapter, or it will be a spoiler for a pretty big event in Children of Blood and Bone, but I will tell you that the first chapter of this takes place from Zelly's perspective. We have multiple perspectives, and the first novel looks like it's going to be the same for this one. Now, I did enjoy the first chapter of this. It's definitely an emotional scene of what's going on, and we get to see a few of the characters that we met in the first novel and got to know. There wasn't a ton in here about what happened in the last novel. There are little tiny snippets, but I think that I'm gonna need a refresher before I actually continue on with this one. It is really good so far. Again, with all of these, I'm definitely gonna be continuing, but this one, I might just have to wait until I read a detailed summary of Children of Blood and Bone. The final book that I'm gonna be starting for this video is The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black, the third and final book in the Folk of the Air trilogy. So we'll get started and I'll let you know what I think. So we've come to the end. I read the prologue of The Queen of Nothing. I didn't continue on the first chapter with this one either. Pretty much the same reason as Call Down the Hawk. So I did enjoy the prologue of this. We actually get a little look into Cardan's childhood, which was pretty interesting. So I peeked into the first chapter and it does go back to Jude's perspective, but it was interesting to get a little taste of Cardan. So again, a combination of things here. I did, like I said, enjoy this first chapter and I am invested in the series. I'm definitely going to be continuing with this one. I just think that I need to get a refresher on what's happened in the first 2 books. I remembered the big plot twist at the end of the second one, but I want a fuller picture before I go into this finale. And the writing style is beautiful, but it's a little bit too flowery for what I want at this very moment. All of that being said, I definitely enjoyed the first chapter of all of these books, but I'm going to have to narrow it down to Attachments by Rainbow Rowell or Starsight by Brandon Sanderson for the one that I pick up next, and I think I'm going to start with Attachments. And the reason Attachments is winning out is because this one is a lot shorter. Attachments is just over 300 pages, while Starsight is over 500 pages, so this one is going to be a little bit easier to get through, and this is a contemporary, whereas Starsight is a sci-fi, so while it's not as flowery writing, and I do understand the world and I'm in there, I just want to dedicate a little bit more time to Starsight, and I'm just getting out of a reading slump, so I think that something like Attachments is going to be what really pushes me forward. Like I said, I do plan to continue with all of these books, so just be looking out on my channel over the next few weeks to see which ones I end up reading when. If you want a more detailed look at my thoughts on these books and you want to know exactly what I am reading at all times, like I said at the beginning of the video, video. The link to my Instagram is down in the description every single video, so go down there, follow me there, and that is where you'll be able to keep up with my reading in real time. Also in the description I have a link to my Goodreads page, and I review every single book that I read, so you can go there and see my thoughts on all of these once I eventually end up reading them. So that is it for my try a chapter tag. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and let me know if you have read any of the books that I started today. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to go down and give it a big thumbs up, as well as hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon down below so that you never miss out on any of my content. So until next time, bye!